What is up, 7.3 fans? Welcome back to the 7.3 Garage. My name is Brandon. If you have not seen the latest video, go ahead and make sure you check that out. I have something pretty cool today. I have another guest here. Again, due to all the things that are going on within the world and the whole pandemic thing, I'm trying to keep things kind of safe here. So I've been reaching out to some of the bigger names within the 7.3 community and trying to get some knowledge and info out to you guys. So some of that stuff may even be able to be applied, I guess, after all this stuff's over. And if people are considering parts or manufacturers or companies that want to be using, try to, I guess, get some options out for some people. So today we have a pretty cool guest here. We have Brian Gray from Gray's Diesel Performance. So we're going to be asking him some questions. Him and his company have done a lot for the 7.3 community, and he has made a tremendous amount of accomplishments as far as the 7.3 platform goes. So we have Brian Gray here with us right now, so let's get right into it. Brian, thanks for being on the channel with us today.
Glad to be here.
So Brian, just to get started, let's talk about what you guys do at Gray's Diesel Performance.
Yeah, we're mostly service and repair. So performance is not huge in the southeast with us. Mm-hmm. So we're basically just like Ford dealer, just trying to have better quality and care when it comes to all the work performed.
Cool. And I know you guys do, or at least I've seen from your truck, I know you guys do some custom fab work and some custom parts. Are you able to elaborate on some of that stuff?
Yeah, we can fab some stuff up for you. It depends on what you need, and if you need something custom, we can do it. We're set up with a few different nice machines and stuff, but no CNCs with us. I outsource some of that stuff that gets done on CNC lathe. Cool. And some different stuff like that for parts that I produce. But we do have some nice benders and saws and some other stuff that we able to make some good product out of and or get something installed, nice custom turbo kit on somebody's truck if needed. Cool,
man. And I know, or I know about it, but I know some people in the 7.3 community really, I guess, aren't too familiar with, I guess, your truck and some accomplishments that you've made. So can you tell us some things that you've been able to do with a stock block 7.3? And some people, again, they haven't seen your truck, and I know in the intro I have some videos of your truck, but it is a true 7.3 liter power plant. So if you can kind of just give everyone a little bit of an insight as to what you've done with your race truck with a stock block 7.3.
Yeah, we're really passionate about staying with the stock HEUI platform, which is what everybody running down the street in their 7.3 Powerstroke has.
Yeah, it's cool.
Just highly modified, of course, but I'm definitely proud of being able to be in a stock block, stock crank, stock ported heads, and all of that, and be able to make the power that we are making. We are continuing to constantly improve that power as well.
Yeah.
Always pushing the platform, and we're definitely not done, and we are continuing to find stuff every step along the way. Sometimes I find so many things that I just flat out cannot get them tested as fast as I'm coming up with the stuff that I know is going to be improvements. And but with the truck, it is the steel cab, steel bedside, skinned out. A fiberglass front clip doesn't really save much weight over stock, surprisingly.
Really?
But, nice to work on, but that's about it. The stock fenders and front end's really not that heavy on those things, and our front clip is about 100 or so pounds. So, we have that set up, and when it comes to the engine, we're full filled right now, not running coolant. I think I'm in the process of making some stuff that would actually allow us to continue increasing the power level and even go back to a half-filled block, running coolant again. With some of the problems we had in 2019, breaking the block, and I think we've kind of found out, what the root cause of that was. But we're, like I said, forged bottom end, what they all come with. balanced, zero balance. I make a custom or modify a flex plate for zero balance, and
Cool.
and I build an ATI damper for zero balance, and all internal balance, no external balance. Got some nice Carrillo rods in there.
Very cool.
We did just switch to some long rod Carrillos, right? So I believe it's about 3/8 of an inch longer rod. May even be slightly more than that. I have to go look up my specs again.
Cool.
And we're running a top fuel piston as well as a top fuel bore size.
Nice.
Just, we're definitely about proving people wrong. It's
Absolutely.
what we've always been about. It stems from the Cummins guys, but
Yeah.
we like proving people wrong.
Nothing wrong with that.
trying different things and pathways that people went down, and they didn't always go down it with the right mindset. And we're revisiting all those roads and leaving no stone unturned.
Yeah,
and,
no, that's awesome.
We're finding where the people fell off and didn't try one more thing and gave up a little too soon, right? We don't give up.
No.
We don't have any give up in us, So, but it's back to the engine setup. We are overpowering the stock pistons where we flat out cannot run a cast aluminum piston for more than 2 passes.
Yeah, I'm sure they just can't handle it.
Yeah, and we're splitting them down in the center around the wrist pin, so we're not damaging the crown of the piston at all. I'm not burning any pistons. We've never burned a piston.
Wow.
No cracks up top. It's all around the pin area, which is just sheer overpowering of the casting.
Wow.
We're running some stock ported heads, basically kind of like a stage 2 porting. It's 100% doable on the streets. Nothing crazy at all. It's got really good swirl, which is one of the most important things, and even much more important than flow on these engines.
Yeah.
We got our camshaft, which definitely some magic in that stuff. We went pretty quick with the stock cam and the Colt cam, but we were kind of at a wall in the 520s there, and definitely, like I said, the cam's definitely able to push us where we are now.
Yeah.
It almost it basically, in some terms, it bridges the gap with what nitrous can do on these engines, and it brought our fuel only number down close to what our best nitrous number was.
Wow.
with those other cams, right? So,
wow.
We can run, we can run within less than 10 mile an hour difference, I believe, at this point now, if we run fuel only versus what we used to run with the stock cam, the Colt. We had both cams in there, but the stock or the Colt, with nitrous, we were within 10 mile per hour with that, and only a couple tenths.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
As far as that goes. But that definitely made some stuff easier for us all the way around, as far as spooling, overall power, power on the drop and RPM between the shifts, and just really all the way around, all the way through. There's no downsides to it at all. It helps everywhere.
Yeah.
Extending up through the RPM range. And we haven't run a single Garrett. We bounce back and forth a little bit, but we can run anywhere from a 85 millimeter Garrett to 88 to a 91.
Nice.
As of right now. And we were, if you guys seen any of the recent videos, they're kind of slow to spool, but we were trying some crazy stuff in the converter to try to hold down the power, because we can't really nobody can make a converter to hold back the power from going straight up and past 4,000 RPM when they come off the trans brake. So it basically shoots up through the torque converter until it has the engine finally starts to make less and less power to the torque converter finally says, oh, hey, I can hold that. and it drives the truck,
Yeah.
And so we're trying different stuff with it, and we're obviously trying to push hard to just find the RPM that we needed to help the torque converter, help 7.3 in general, but also help the torque converter couple up without having to do some crazy stuff with that. But we're switching back to some stuff to go fast spooling again, and not with nitrous like we had to do right now, and get us back to being able to roll in the beams real good. Like I said, we've just been searching all avenues, to see what we can do. Like I said, it started out with a back cab truck as well.
Mm-hmm.
We went with a smaller injector, and I just pulled way back at 4,500 pounds. We went 928 at 146.27 in the quarter, which was like a 580s, 590s in the 8. And this was, like I said, again, a long time when literally the first full pass, and then we backed it up. But we immediately at that point stripped off the 900 pounds of ballast that we had on it, and cut the frame rails off, and went to Pro Street because we knew that it was not legal to run down the track with 900 pounds. So we didn't try to push that. We didn't try to push that at all. I 100% felt like we could run low fives with at 4,500 pounds and mid eights. So, I definitely think that's 100% capable in a 7.3 platform now, at that full Pro Street weight. But like I said, we were forced for the beginning of the season because more than anything, we just want to race.
Yeah.
And we were forced to revise the setup a little bit to go into Pro Mod, because that was really the class that we fit into, even though we built the truck specifically for Pro Street. But we didn't try to make it light, but we rolled in 900 pounds lighter than it was supposed to be. And like I said, the class was just built around full drive Dodges, So
right.
It just wasn't built. It wasn't. I got problems with that class and the rules in that class. I think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
It's old rules and just need to change. I think it's the simplest way that could be put. Then we switched and lightened it up a little bit. We have to be under 3,600 pounds to run faster than 530 in the 8.
Wow.
Nobody's allowed to be heavier than that and run quicker than that, unless there's one cert, the 25.6, that those four-wheel drive guys use, but it stops you at 5.0. So
okay,
running fours, like I said, we're as heavy as we can be. 3,550 pounds, the same weight as Ben Shaddy in his full-size truck that he had.
Yeah.
So that's really the closest comparison to what we have as far as evenly matched, trucks and chassis.
Yeah, and I can imagine a lot of these Dodge guys, when you show up and you're in the same class as them, I'm sure a lot of them are scratching their heads, wondering what a 7.3 is doing here, and then you show them the tail lights.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well they definitely were at first, and
yeah.
They a big majority of them guys really like the truck now, and they come up to us, and a lot of them will tell you that the favorite truck for them to watch is us.
That's awesome.
Which is good to hear, and our truck sounds extremely wicked on the line.
Oh yeah.
Where their guys is kind of lackluster. Mine sounds like it's gonna suck everybody that's standing in the staging lanes into the turbo with them. It's pretty comical when I go to spool up and I see the guy holding the controller to the beams start backing up away from the truck.
I can imagine. It sounds like a tornado.
Yeah, I get a laugh out of it.
That's awesome.
Backing up.
Now I know you have and I guess I don't know if this is a trend that you had started, but I've seen a bunch. I know, for example, like Brian Jelich has he's got a front mount turbocharger in his truck. I know you have that as well. Is that having a front mount turbo, from what I've been led to believe, is that I guess the exhaust flows a little bit better and helps with spool up for a larger turbocharger? I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure I was the first one to do it, and obviously, some people are wanting to try to produce that as well, which I want everybody to continue to push the platform as well with me.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where it was just in my master plan. I always wanted to do, saw possibly some advantages with it, but mostly was because to put into plan, to put into my intakes into play, right?
Yeah.
Because that stems way back to me wanting to build intakes for over a decade now.
Yeah.
And just not having time with building my business. But, that all stemmed around that. I couldn't build the intake setup I wanted with the turbo and the stock location. So
right.
We're constantly working on ways and new ideas to maybe figure out what we can do to change that. Something tricky for people that can utilize it more so in a street application without doing as much exotic turbo work.
Turbo work and fab work, yeah.
Yeah. But we're constantly working and thinking about that. We're doing a lot of things with few people. So we are only 3 people in a 10,000 square foot shop with a truck full, parking lot full of trucks. So,
right.
We're doing what we can. We definitely need some more qualified people that want to be and grow with us, and be constantly learning and not just sitting back on their heels.
Yeah, I think that's definitely important, especially when you're trying to advance, especially a platform like the 7.3. I think in the past, I know you've been involved with them for a long time, but I would say at least in the last 5 to 8 years, they've really had, a pretty strong comeback as far as a platform. And I think a lot of people have been looking for, I guess, that company or whoever to really, take that big step and say, hey, we're going to do things different. We're going to try things out a different way. And I think you guys have definitely shown that you've made that step in that direction with your truck and things that you guys have made.
Yeah, I've absolutely made that commitment to do that for me and for everybody out there. I hope everybody does understand that I'm doing a ton of what I'm doing for them, and for the platform.
Yeah.
I want everybody's truck to be fast. Plain and simple truth, I want every 7.3 out there to be able to wear out every Cummins on the road. And that's just plain and simple facts.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of 7.3 guys will definitely agree with you on that one.
Yeah. So, that's why we're here.
Cool.
And why I do what I do.
No, that's awesome, man. Now, Brian, I don't know if this is something.
I feel like it was.
No, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I just feel like there was a lot of stuff left on the table that is still there, and I think that's obviously apparent in my truck. Nobody would have bet you couldn't have bet any money in the world a 7.3 would have ran 4s, let alone 5s.
No, absolutely not.
and now we're running 480s with the truck being broke, right?
Wow.
So, we just ran that 483 with some engine issues as well as a failing torque converter.
Wow. Now,
so
just for those,
we did that pass essentially with a non-lockup converter, and you know how slow a 7.3 feels when the torque converter's not locked.
Oh yeah, it's dragging its feet.
Yeah.
Now, Brian, I know you just said that you guys have clicked off of 480 or right around there. What does that translate to in the quarter mile times? I know not too many people are familiar with 1/8 mile times, but for a 7.3 Powerstroke to run let's call it 480 in the 1/8 mile translates to a quarter mile time of approximately what?
It's right there. It should be right now. It should run probably 740s, 750s.
That's awesome. And the thing people don't realize, and I try to, I guess, drive this point home, is this is an engine that was designed to be put into, a box truck or a work truck. This was not designed,
buses.
Right, school buses. This was not designed to be doing 740s in the quarter mile.
Yeah.
So that's awesome, man. That is awesome.
Really, and like I said, at this power level, we're kind of turned down right now a little bit on this power level. So we definitely have more there. But at this power level where we're at, it's very, very dependable at this particular power level that we have it out right now. It doesn't break much of anything. About, the piston is basically the piston, right? So piston rods, of course. But at this power level, billet pistons are required.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're only in the billet piston range by probably 150 horsepower. So 150 to 200 horsepower less than this, you could run. We ran a stock piston, modified stock piston, for a year and a half, I think. So we're very close to being extremely dependable on just about short, nothing but rods and piston mods. But we're about to step it up a little bit. Like I said, this setup right here essentially makes about 1,656 horsepower on the calculator. Like I said, it's the only tool I have to be able to measure it. Right? Yeah. So a dyno, calculator, all that stuff, they are essentially the same thing. A dyno is a mathematical calculation. So, we use the same one and we look for gains or losses. We've been very fortunate that we don't have losses really with anything. None of my ideas have translated into a loss. Yeah. We just keep gaining, which is definitely motivating. But we're going to continue to push the thing, and I 100% believe even by the end of this year that we'll have some stuff that will show that we're capable of over 2,000 horsepower.
Wow. Yeah, man, that is, even just to hear, 2,000 horsepower, 1,600 horsepower, and 7.3 in the same sentence, I think a lot of people have to see it to believe it. And
definitely check out the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I will definitely be putting a link in the YouTube channel. I'm going to put again. I know the people saw in the intro I did that we have some videos of your truck in there, but I would definitely make sure that we have that in there so people can check it out. But I think you guys have done again tremendous work on your part, and I think a lot of this is. And I talked about this with Brian Jelich a couple weeks ago. Is kind of the same deal. I think a lot of people have to just go, hey, let's try this out. Let's see if it works. And if it doesn't, let's go back to the drawing board. Just having, I guess, a knowledge of, of engine mechanics and how things work and what doesn't work. And I think you guys have definitely done that. And I think it should be known that you guys are doing this for the 7.3 world.
Absolutely.
So that's awesome, man. Well, I think you answered a lot of my questions, and I think a lot of people will get a lot out of this. And I think it'd be really cool to see you guys start, spreading out a little bit more and advancing again in the 7.3 community. So we appreciate you being on here today, Brian.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to be here.
Cool. Thanks a lot, man. We'll stay in touch. Those of you guys that are watching out there, thanks for tuning in. Brian's got a lot of knowledge. Go ahead and check out their website. It's Gray's Diesel Performance. I will make sure that I include it in the description below. And go ahead and check them out. If you guys need any parts or any custom fabbing done, Brian's shop can take care of it. So again, I will have that down in the description below. Same thing as always, guys. Go ahead and share, comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Really have some really good content that I'm going to be working on here in the future. So I appreciate the support as always. And before we go, one more thing. Thank you for all the sticker support. I still have plenty. I will again have the description on how to get those below. So go ahead and get your hands on some of those before we get the next batch out. So thank you guys for tuning in. As always, my name is Brandon. This is the 7.3 Garage. We will see you next time.